wonder who gave Megatron the most iconic eyebrows ever? Everyone knows Megatron, a constant pest of a cockroach that can never stay down. If a cockroach could be a tyrannical warlord, his Decepticons follow him as leader either for the goals of a Decepticon-led universe, self-interest, or distaste for the other side. Megatron craves power. In his view, everything would fall into his order. He may not hold every battle with victory, but his drive, will, and knowledge still makes him a horrifying menace and boogeyman of chaos. Megatron transforms into a Cybertronian-style H-Tank. I mean, the handheld weapon is just too much of a stretch for a lot of people in a fictional setting. Although robot organs are being argued as if fictional robots are real. So, who am I to judge about mass-shifting possibilities? It's pretty rigid, technical, and armored with some interesting design details, especially on the cannon and the side of the tank itself. Considering the setting, this is a Cybertronian form, but with your imagination, you could call it a super specialized tank. So I guess we don't need an Earthrise figure. They made an Earthrise figure. AKA the same, but watered down. To be fair, that form does pick up the mold and cleans up the tank form. While this has obvious arms and could be considered a chaotic mess, that feels right for Megatron. He is chaos. He has a goal and an order, but he embraces it. This is the same guy who transformed into an alien jet on Earth. Also a dragon and a baseball glove. I guess it's the same thing with Optimus Prime having an Earth form that directly comes from this, and if there's gonna be an Earthrise Optimus Prime, might as well have his competition. But we're not here to talk about Earthrise Megatron, says demanding comments who are probably right. I love the design of the barrel with a paint and a scope on top that gives a tint of original Megatron. I must applaud them. The blades open up, swing back, and fit directly between the arms as if nothing ever happened, hiding in plain sight. Why is the best robots in disguise a tank barrel? Why can't Studio Series do this? Someone get Brawl! You can see the blade sticking out of the back, but really, am I going to discredit the whole thing? There's blast ports on top and portholes on the side, 2 each, 1 on the barrel, and 1 on the very back as blowback from the extended cannon that feeds right through. You can remove the sword turret if you want to leave the cannon, or remove it entirely for his peaceful form in the comics. But this feels dirty. It's like taking away the only remnants of his Autobot blasting form. Flip up the feet, rocket boost, but of evil! Remember to leave the shoulder flaps up, but I love the hinges implemented to the mode. Check out the smooth, heavily armored underneath with the panels covering the front, showing a nice touch of yellow. And the side treads with some gray paint. Actually, I think people call it old Lego dark gray. It's obvious the legs are right there, but there's a neat transformation trick with the knees. So D for results, A for effort. Check it out! Megatron peekaboo. They'll never find me underneath myself! I totally acknowledge the arms and legs, but I really don't mind. We've had worse alt modes. I'm not sure how I feel about the boxes on the side. With the mushroom joints, it looks like the manhole launchers from the Ninja Turtle bus. I think this works for Megatron. With every bit of heavy armor and heft comes a bit of chaos. Perfect for the military maniac warlord. Plus, I just enjoy getting it into this mode. Front treads are tricky to lock in all the way, but it's good. Robot mode. In robot mode seems to be built out of beefy rectangles. This Tetris-formed leader of the Decepticons seemed pretty wide in this toy. Not to say it's really that bad, but he looks like he's been hitting the gym and lifting triple McBaconators. I'll take the Fusion Cannon off for the moment. I'll reattach it later, mostly because it feels unnerving. Not only because classic Megatron should keep his cannon, but because I'm worried how he would kill without it. His torso seems pretty wide compared to his original, and he does have some junk on the back. Okay, some might not be the accurate proportional word. Entire parts of the tread stick out on the back, but with Generations, they make changes to the original characters, and I think this fits the strength of the figure. Plus, I mean, classic toy exists. Look at the wingspan on that thing. I don't mind the dull dark gray plastic, looks a little cartoony. Can't compete with the chain of improved decos. Not to mention, they ruined it with all the scratch marks. Legs are fine, but metallic scratches over the dull gray is like finding metal inside the gashes of a sponge. The legs look nice, but there is a small gap on the side. To its credit, there is a panel simply made to fill in what they can. Actually, overall, the tank form seems to sit well with him. He looks good, but they couldn't fix the neck. The head's on a flap that doesn't lock in. I'm not even feeling the nub, it's like a trap door. I can deal with it, especially since the head can't tilt up anyways. The head is so far back on the ball joint that when he looks to the side, it's like he slept wrong and his neck is kinked for the whole day. Other than the gunk he should wipe off, that head looks amazing. A little wide, but I guess it fits the theme. Classic eyebrow of someone not having any of your crap. The bucket style helmet is so iconic, and the silver face is nice. Would be better to see more of it. Did someone say articulation? Ball jointed head, shoulders out and in, forward and back rotation below, elbow bend, waist rotation, hips out and in, forward and back rotation below, knee bend, snap the foot for a tilt, and foot moves. Posability is alright, still has the Siege added points of movement, but no wrist tilt? Guess I should complain to Hasbro about petty issues. Above the knee can wiggle in this joint, and some of the joints could be tighter, but it should be good and sturdy enough. I also appreciate the added bits of paint, but the red should have continued on the side, and some darker touches inside would help the depth of the figure. Also, elbows lock in, is that a condition? Let's take a look at the accessories. He comes with the D50-R35 Fusion Cannon, which is just a fancy way of saying, yes, Fusion Cannon! In alt mode, it holds the arms together, but going into robot mode, it will almost always remain on this arm, thanks to one of the 5mm pegs being thicker than the other by design. Plugs on the side of the arm and complements the figure completely. I'm glad you don't have to remove it completely from the figure if optional. Proportionately and design-wise, it's simple, but is everything I want. You can even use the holes on the shoulder heaters and plug it on top for the G2 look. He also comes with an HPR Telescopic Laserstrike Launcher. In alt mode, it extends the cannon, but here, rotate the blades, flip them around, bring them back so the turret is in the middle, and now you get a massive sword. Man, that's a lot of blade. This is inspired by his original sword from the figure and can easily take on Optimus Prime with his little axe. Good size, you can add slash effects to the tabs, and you can combine it with the cannon to form the NFM Particle Beam Mega-Launcher. Not much of a blaster unless you move the blades, but as an extended sword, seems chaotic for Megatron. Also with the peg, you can attach it to the side of the arm, or you can attach it to the back for storage. He's got multiple blast ports because he can take the hits, and 5mm peg holes on the feet, side of the leg, 2 on the arms, 2 on the back, and 2 on top. Just remember the shoulder detail that has to flip around, but you can use it with the porthole to have some rotational feature. Maybe use the blade to cut some tomatoes. I also love that he feels bigger than Optimus Prime. I like it when the good guys are outmatched, making it a challenge with their victories being all the more sweet, but with the bad guys being intimidating. I guess that's where the neck joint comes in, to make him larger so he can go on the big kid slide. I do hear a lot of people who despise this figure for some reason, and while he does have his problems, I just don't see it beside color. There's better decos, but the mold itself is fitting for the monster. It doesn't wow me, but it doesn't have to. The only thing I really want out of this is to be a functional toy, to look good, and to be Megatron. This, as far as I know, is all that. I really like this figure and I have no problems getting it. What big lips you have.